For those who are not in Georgia and cannot come in Georgia, we take care of property selling or buying remotely. This is with the help of the power of attorney. To sell a flat, you need to use some real estate websites which are quite popular in Georgia, and then list your properties there, then receive calls, answer them, meet your buyers, show them, talk with them, negotiate with them, and once they agree on the terms, you need to prepare purchase agreement. You need to go to the public service hall, both of you, to sign these papers. That's it. You are pretty much done. And next question is when does buyer pay and when you sell it. This practice is quite inconvenient for some people because it happens at the same time. Either you go first and sign papers, and then the buyer gives you money in cash or transfer to you, or either buyer gives you money at first and then you sign paper. This is inconvenient sometimes for either parties, but that's how majority of deals are done in Georgia, and we never faced some problems with that. For some extra security, some people can register pre-purchase agreement where there are all these details about payments and when will be the payment done and what happens if the buyer won't pay, or what happens if seller won't register property as promised. All these kinds of details are in pre-purchase agreement. And what really happens if some of these unfavorable conditions that I mentioned before really happens, in that case you will need to go to the court anyways, and in that case pre-purchase agreement does not make any sense, because you can go and prove that you are right in the court with sales agreement too, because all these details that I mentioned that is usually written in pre-purchase agreement are mentioned in the sales agreement too. So some people think that they are extra secure with pre-purchase agreement when the outcome is the same. If either party did not comply what they have promised, it's written in both pre-purchase agreement and in the sales agreement. These two process pre-purchase then the sales does not make any sense in this case scenario, and there should be some trust involved, unfortunately, in the process. I know it's sometimes inconvenient, but as I mentioned, I never face problems with this. We usually go together to the public service hall with the buyer, and then we sign. First of all, we check the status of the property in advance to make sure that there is nothing, no liability registered for that property in advance. And as we know that this property is all clean, no mortgage, nothing, when the buyer signs in front of us, we know that usually you won't have problems with registration. It never happened to us. You can also request if you pay some extra money, 1 day service, so you will receive property registration confirmation straight away in a few hours. And then once the seller signs this document, buyer give them some cash, or it happens sometimes vice versa. Buyer transfers whole amount in advance because seller wants to be sure that they will receive this amount. Imagine what happens if they will sign this paper and the next day you will decide not to transfer this money. The seller needs some assurance as well as buyer, right? There should be some mutual trust involved, and if this trust is not fulfilled, then in any case there should be court involved in the process. Don't be scared, because usually it never happened in my practice. I have sold few flats now, but we have to talk about any circumstance, any possible scenario, and we have to talk about any concern that you might have when you sell or when you buy property in Georgia. But this is how it's work, and if you want to sell your property in Georgia, you can contact us. We will be glad to help you. Our office right now is located in Batumi, but we provide some of our services in Tbilisi too. For this corona pandemic reasons, our Tbilisi office was shut down for some time, and I'm mainly in Batumi because we have here some real estate construction project going on. Some of the project that I attracted some investment, that we are looking some of more investments too. And if you're looking for business partners for real estate, make sure you contact us too. And that was it for today, and I want to tell you bye for now.